Can you hear me without a microphone?
Yeah.
Good, because I'm going to get rid of it. The reason I came tonight is I felt it was very important that there become a common understanding of what happened here in the United States, how it had happened to us, and by having that understanding, we will more clearly know what we must do to take back our country, to protect the 99% of us that are not the 1% wealthy in this country. First of all, my name is Richard Richmond. I own a small computer company in Melbourne, Florida. Over the last couple years, I have seen more and more young, capable, educated Americans coming to me for jobs, and I don't have the capability to hire them because of the situation that have developed in this country. I want everyone here to understand one major point. This wasn't an intentional action that was directed at the working people of this country. A group of very wealthy capitalists and the financiers that support them took a good look at basic economic theory to find out which piece of the puzzle could be manipulated the best.
Yeah.
What they found was very simple. The price of copper in the United States is $4 a pound. Well, guess what? It's $4 a pound in China. The cost of equipment is roughly the same anywhere in the world. But they found one piece that was easily manipulable, and that's the price of labor.
That's right!
If you look at the labor component of any object that's manufactured in the world, it's a substantial portion of the wholesale price of that item. In America, I believe a working person, a person who puts 40 hours a week into his job, needs an income of at least $20 an hour to support a family. Not only to support a family, but to be a good father, to be a contributing member of the society. If you're making less than that, you're struggling, and that's what they want.
Amen.
The plan was very simple. They came up with two terms that were sold to us, and they made it, you'll always see them using words as key phrases, catchphrases to catch us. They used the term globalization, and they used the term free trade. What they did is that they quickly understood that primarily there were over 500 million rural, poverty-ridden Chinese in mainland China. These people, because modern technology had made its way to the farm, were really no longer needed agriculturally. They were willing to leave their farms, come to the large cities in China, and work for substandard, subhuman wages. But understand this, prior to that point, their incomes were only about $1,500 a year per capita. So it was very easy to manipulate them with the promise of $1 or less an hour. So they brought them to the cities, and in turn, American capital and European capital from the wealthiest 1% and the financiers showed up in mass and moved the factories from America and Western Europe to developing countries where they could exploit the workers. And they did it successfully. There's something missing. If it costs to sell a $100 wholesale bicycle, if it costs $30 of labor here in the United States to make that bicycle, they're now able to make that bicycle for $3. It is an economic impossibility for an American to compete that needs $20 an hour with somebody working for under $2. And many people in China are at $1. As long as they can manipulate that, as long as they can manipulate the cost of labor by diverting manufacturing and allowing it to come back in the country without taxation, you will not have jobs. Any politician that promises you jobs is lying. Mathematics does not lie. You cannot compete with $2 an hour and less labor. It's an impossibility.
Outsourcing.
What you need to do, this is why I say it's not a complex situation. What they did is they sold globalization and free trade, but then they had to find a way to move the money. And what they did was allow them to repatriate funds and allow the wealthiest 1% to move their money around the globe without taxation. If you want to bring jobs back to America, it is not a complex issue. What you simply need to do is to create a balance through taxation of imports that balances out the difference in labor. That does not affect quality. They say that, oh, you can make a better bike in China. BS! Americans are amongst the hardest people in the world. Please understand how simple this is. If you tax the imports at a level that balances out the difference between American labor and foreign labor in any country, because there are some countries that it's $8 an hour. Well, still an American worker cannot compete at that level. The hardware and the manufacturing equipment that we use here is in Taiwan tomorrow, or it's in Beijing tomorrow. All you have is your labor. And you need your government, which is supposed to be protecting us. And they're not. They've sold out. This is a situation where it required the manipulation of both major American political parties. You had to compromise both to achieve this, and they have done it successfully.
And the media!
And the media. If we focus on simply balancing the cost of labor through taxation, what it takes, the $20 an hour it takes for an American to be a decent citizen, we can achieve. Why would any capitalists are not stupid? I own a business. I'm not stupid. If it costs me, if through taxation it costs me my labor component nearly equal to what it does in China, guess what? I'm not building in Guangzhou. I'm going to build in Orlando. Please, the tool of the 1% is obscuring the very simple nature of the problem and the simple nature of the solution. Don't blame it. Don't you love to hear they want to blame poor people from Mexico for why we don't have jobs here? You need to understand something. In Mexico, you have a situation where 100 largest wealthiest families control almost 70% of GDP. That's what they want here, and they're nearly able to achieve it.
Oh, man.
Don't blame anybody else but ourselves for allowing this to happen. Understand the 1% fools. They split us up with arguments over gun control, abortion, homosexuality, everything they could throw at us, except the fact that with their right hand, they were in our wallets, taking our jobs. But now it's worse than that. I see young men and families on the streets. In my hometown, we have the Daily Bread, a shelter. 600 people come there on a day sometimes, trying to get food. It's 2 blocks from my company. Well, I'm sick of it. You need to be as angry. You need to understand. The power is in the ballot. Stop fighting amongst yourselves. It's not black welfare mothers. It's not white welfare mothers. It's not people from Puerto Rico. It's the 1% that want everything you have and more. I ask you this, how many of you have noticed that even the wealthiest people that are educated, like Warren Buffett, is so embarrassed by the state of affairs? He's saying, tax me, please. When my little company buys a product, years ago, I would buy it from an American manufacturer that would employ Americans. And they would buy their components from another American manufacturer that employed Americans. And my $100 would then go to an American company and be taxed, go to another American company and be taxed, go to another American company. It would filter through the economic system. But it doesn't. That's why when that dumbass George Bush handed everybody... I'll be quick. Thank you.
Keep going, bro.
His economic solution was hand everybody $600 so they'd be dumb enough to go buy a Beijing-made television in a country. The money would immediately leave the country. And you know what we export? The cardboard box. Focus on the simple issues and the simple answers. Do not allow yourself to be divided. Stand together. But I'll tell you this. This may be your last attempt. You may not, after 2012, we may not have a chance to even meet here. Do you know, right now, they're requiring that we stand in boxes to speak our public. America used to be free speech boundaries were Manhattan and Los Angeles, Key West and Detroit. No, now we have to stand in boxes. They're going to take all your rights. They're going to take your jobs. And they're going to impoverish the rest of us.
They are.
Realize this. These 1% of financiers and the wealthiest, they are not Americans. Listen to me. They are international people. They have houses everywhere. They have political power everywhere. We are what's left. I want everybody here to take ownership of this country.
Take back what it means to be an American.
If you're a renter, you don't belong here in America. You own it. by birthright and by sweat. And notice every time there's a world war and I want to send some young 18-year-old off to kill other poor people, they come from us. Notice that nobody, Dick Cheney and his clowns, none of them were military men. The best of military men would have none of this. That's what I'm saying. The finest military in the world has been corrupted by business. They're putting our nation at jeopardy. If you go into the Pentagon today, less than half the people there have an American uniform on. They're business people, so we're getting 30 cents on a dollar for every dollar we spend of defense spending. Ridiculous. That's the real waste. It's not that somebody's buying $200 toilet seats. That's to obscure the problem. They're all eating from the trough. These are pigs. Come together, be strong during this protest, and you know something? I was a little disappointed sometimes with what's going on in New York. You do need a common vision, you need a close understanding, and you need very simple goals. Don't get wild on this. It's simple. This is not a complex problem, and don't listen to anybody that tells you it is. My background's economics, and this is so simple, it's unbelievable. A decent, elected government could solve this in 30 days. For the developing third world that is tangentially benefiting from our suffering, there's no problem with China developing. The problem is you can't change the economics of the world in 30 years. This is a situation where China, with well over 1 billion people, it should take 200-300 years to absorb them into the global economy. But they forced these people from the farms to take your jobs. And it's not the Chinese citizens doing it. It's our government, our wealthy, and their wealthy. Thank you very much.